This podcast is part of the Michigan Sports and Entertainment Podcast Network. Go to michigansportsandentertainment.com for more great podcasts.
Hello and welcome to Body Count, the podcast where we believe history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes, and a proud member of the MSC Podcast Network. Our only rule when we choose a topic, someone, or as is usually the case, a lot of someone's died. We give you the series of events in a narrative fashion so that anybody can fucking follow it and not just a hoity-toity historian. By the end, we hope to correlate said events, with the modern world. And I can't promise it's going to happen on this episode. That's just where we're at. So prep yourselves. I'm not PBS, Ken Burns, or Dan Carlin. However, if you want a Hoover-esque Just the Facts, Ma'am history podcast, we are not going to be for you. I'm telling you this now. There will be analysis and opinions. I'm not reading names and dates at you. So if you don't fucking like that idea, get out now. My opinions are my own. Know that I do hold my co-hosts verbally hostage. So, direct your hate at me, guys, where it belongs. Now, I am your host, Jessica Manor, and I am joined today by my co-host,
Bethany Skelton. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know why I started to sound like that, but that was my choice.
It was you made a choice, and it's
and
the
I
choice
ran with
we've
it.
made.
And we're recording, and that's that. Unless, this is our first take. So if this ends up working out, then this is what's going on in the recording. If not, I get to make another choice. So
oh, I'm just gonna preface everybody. I am getting ill because my kid goes to a public school, which is just a snot silo waiting to happen, and she brings home all this shit. So I am not 100 today, and if it's not already apparent, plus I had two hell of a days at my workplace, and I'm in no goddamn mood. So,
Same.
Disclaimer that we have to drop is
we had to have a discussion about this one.
We did.
We decided to add a new disclaimer. Our original disclaimer, but I think that it was important to drop this particular one.
We have been trying very, very hard to clean up our, what I like to refer to as sailor mouths. But it's not going to happen this week. So if you don't like the word fuck, if you don't like God damn it, if you don't like son of a bitch, if you don't like any of those, this one's not going to be for you. Because again, I'm in no mood. I would rather eat a bullet I would rather deep throat a shotgun than continue to do this podcast, but we are contractually obligated to put one out once a week.
So here you fucking go.
So there you go. Now, I promised we would start the LeBarons and the Lambs of God this week, but as you can assume from my general demeanor and attitude, I am having to do a lot more research than I initially thought I would. So this is just a last-ditch one I had in my pocket. And if it says anything about me, as we get into the subject matter, I was saving this one for 9/11, so...
Well, I mean, it's a good one. I think it's interesting, and I don't know, it kind of goes with the meme I sent you the other day not the meme, but the GIF on Twitter with the plane when it was a rough week, and I sent you the plane. I was like, we slid right on in.
Right on in. No, it's perfect. It's a rough week. One could almost say it's a plane crash of a week.
So the plane crash is nothing to laugh at, okay?
Well, I mean, again, if you haven't already gotten the general gist of the show, that's kind of what we're here to do.
We do. That's
if you don't laugh at it, you'll just end up crying, and it is depressing as all hell, but it is what it
Exactly.
is. This is our history. You know, even as we were declaring victory in Europe, we were already making plans to bring back Nazi scientists into these United States, chain them to tables so that we could send men to the moon. History is a complicated creature. That's where we're at.
Amen.
Amen. We have a lot to get to today. First, housekeeping. Um,
Housekeeping.
we're
sorry.
now.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Jesus, this is gonna be a train wreck, and I am ready for it. We're part of the MSC Podcast Network, which, guys, it's a really great collection of podcasts. Please go over and check it out. You can check it out at MSC Podcasts on Twitter. Go over to Michigan Sports and sportsandentertainment.com. You can check out all of the podcasts in the collective there. It's absolutely wonderful. We're super excited. I know my voice does not betray that, but we are.
Excited. No, for
So
real. This is awesome.
excited.
And we have merch out. You can get a t-shirt.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Good for you, Bethany.
I got your back, girl. We are a team.
Because I am obviously not a historian and a marketing genius. Yeah, shit, sure. We got shirts. Go enjoy them.
You have an excuse. You've been working on our upcoming deep dive episodes. So
Plus,
buckle up, people.
I do have
Enjoy
a
these
day job
crazies of
also.
episodes.
Oh,
yes,
God.
and you're a mother and a wife. You know, no big deal
All
or
those
anything.
things are easy enough, but my day job also involves a great deal of history, so it's just one constant historical slap in the face after the other. Just going, man.
You chose this. Sorry, girl.
Chose
you
this. I
chose
chose
this life.
this. Well, you understand, I thought that it was going to be more like Indiana Jones, and you know what's a movie? Indiana Jones. Because
Speaking
it is
movies.
nothing like goddamn Indiana Jones. It is just reading and Turabian citations, folks.
No adventures in replacing stones in forbidden caves.
I wish it was, because honest to God, I would let that boulder just roll the fuck over me.
I'm done. I give up.
Done. I'm done with this shit. You can have it.
Speaking of movies, we did have a discussion and I'm super excited, but let's tell them about our Patreon and that we won't
let's get through our housekeeping and then we'll do the Patreon drop.
Okay.
So we, again, if you love the show, please go give us those 5 stars on iTunes or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. We're on everything. I understand we had some hosting issues when we were moving over to the network. We no longer have those, so save your fucking hate DMs. Again, I don't have time and I don't care.
I don't even care.
I don't care. Say whatever the hell you want when you go and review us, guys. It's really not for our ego. It's not to make us feel like pretty princesses. We don't. We already are those things. We don't need you to tell us. We're just kidding. But it does help us out quite a bit. But not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. Who am I? Who am I kidding? Obviously, I'm not kidding.
No.
But it helps us out on the business end. It absolutely does. And then also please check us out on Patreon. We watch and kind of Mystery Science Theater 3000 style our way through historical dramas for only $1 a month. And then Bethany and I were talking about something. Bethany had a fun idea that we're going to do. We're going to finish up The Crown, guys. And God damn it, we're almost there. We're
hang in there with us.
Like, please hang in there with us. The frown with a C.
Yeah. Anyway, we're deciding on something new and it's coming up and we'll discuss it later.
Yeah, we definitely will. It's going to be fun. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We're going to dip into a little literature as well.
Ooh.
That's all we're going to say.
Yes.
Don't build me my frickin' Western Lit soapbox because I will jump on that too. I think we both know that.
Save it for another episode.
Like I said, I know we were gonna start LeBaron and all of that, the Lambs of God.
Yeah.
Madison's gonna jump on that one with us
finally,
because Madison's asks far better questions than we do. Because we're ass clowns, let's face it. Madison brings the intelligent questions to all this shit. While we're sitting here like weaving a tale and whatever comes out of our messed up minds, Madison's like, but wait a minute. There's shit to talk about here. So as you can already tell, this entire episode is just going to be a massive dumpster fire if there ever was.
But it's going to be fun and we're going to learn and you're going to laugh.
That's exactly right.
That's all that matters.
I am here purely to try to get Bethany to bring up my mood because it is sour and foul. When we were going into this, Bethany nailed it perfectly, and she said it reminds me when you were teaching, and it's basically like, sit down, don't ask me any questions.
Shut up.
Shut up. Just shut up.
You better take notes.
Take your notes.
It's going to be on the test.
Tests.
Tests.
Multiple. Sit down, shut up, Poindexters, take notes. Don't ask me questions. I don't care if you're confused by anything. So we're going to really see if Bethany either makes my mood worse or picks it up. It's going to be a real gamble. So shit. Let's do it. Let's kick this pig.
Let's do it.
Let's go back to Saturday, July 28th. The year? 1945.
Oh, yeah, 1945.
Oh, 1945. Big year in world history. So this tends to get overshadowed. So, Manhattan wakes up that morning and decides it wants to be fucking England for whatever reason because there is a fog like you wouldn't believe in this month of notoriously bad weather. So it's not a great day for flights, obviously. Obviously. So, let's zip on 200 miles from New York City to the Army Air Force Base, because remember, at this time, the Air Force was still part of the Army, in Bedford, Massachusetts, where Lieutenant Colonel William Smith is prepping for takeoff.
Wait, did you say Will Smith?
You bitch.
Here come Men in Black. I don't know the words.
I didn't even think about it, but as you stopped me right then, I knew exactly what was coming out of your mouth before I even said it.
There has to be a movie, right? Will Smith has flown a plane. In a movie.
I believe he's also flown a spaceship. So,
Spaceship.
Okay. So it has to be said right from the beginning, guys, that this guy, he's no slouch. He's home from the European campaign awaiting reassignment because we've already declared victory in Europe. He's really and truly an ace pilot and a decorated war hero, which makes the things that I'm gonna say later so awful.
What's an ace pilot? What does that stand for?
Like top dog. Like he is absolutely fantastic.
The bee's knees.
The bee's knees. Like no slouch. Like absolutely bar none type pilot. And after all, Smith had flown over 50 missions in the war with the same crew. His crew didn't want to leave him. He was always changing out, he'd never change out crews. He always wanted to be with the same guys. And believe it or not, the exact same plane. Now, granted, it had to be patched up a bit because it would come back, full of shrapnel and torn to shreds. But he would never insist that he wanted a new plane. He wanted the same plane, and they were to patch it up. So
this is my plane. I'm gonna live in this plane. I'm gonna die on this plane.
I have lived long enough in it, so I'm going to stick by this plane. Oh, God. I feel my voice going, so this could be even more fun if we get through this. So, I mean, this guy had also been on some of the toughest bombing missions that you can imagine. Now, while awaiting reassignment, his job stateside, and this guy definitely deserved a break if anybody did, was shuttling and chauffeuring officers back and forth between army bases. So what's he flying?
I don't know, Jessica. Tell me what he's flying.
He is flying the B-25 Mitchell bomber, which is not a plane that he is at all super familiar with. Smith was a B-17 guy. Now, the B-17 was twice the size of the B-25, and again, Smith is like the king of all wartime airplanes. So no one's too worried about how familiar this guy is with the B-25 because they figure he can fly the fucking Wright brothers plane to the moon if he had to.
To the moon. Oh my God.
And they have like every reason to honestly believe that.
I mean, okay, is it like a one size fits all? Like what's okay, so B-17, B-25, I'm assuming you said one's twice.
The B-17 is twice the size, and it was a heavy duty bomber. Yeah, I mean, it's a big plane, whereas the B-25 is going to be much, much smaller. And it's somewhere, I would say, in between like a bomber and a fighter, truly.
Oh, okay. But it's definitely not a one size. You can't just go to the store and be like, you know what? I have flown a plane. I can handle that big ass plane over there.
Again, we know that now.
I used to fly. Yeah. It's not just it's like you're used to driving like a what is it?
You can't go from like
a Mini Cooper into like an SUV.
Yeah, you can't go from a Miata to like a Land Rover overnight. All right, it just doesn't work that way. Parking's going to be very, very different, and believe it or not, that's a big issue when it comes to the. God, that's absolutely fucking terrible. I can't believe I made that joke. Considering what's going to happen, folks, you're going to know how tasteless that was.
That was sorry.
I mean, the Army, they ran with him through a few exercises to kind of double check he had the hang of it, but familiarity wasn't something anyone was too concerned with. And remember, airplanes, bombers, all this bullshit, that's still fairly new. It's a fairly new technology within the world. I mean, we didn't even have our own Air Force yet. It's just something that got lumped in with the Army and the Navy. That hadn't even emerged. That's something that very much came out of a product of the Second World War. So we didn't even have an Air Force proper yet. Didn't know that that's not really how flying works. You have to be fairly fucking familiar with the thing that you're going to take into the sky and fly around.
I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time because you said that they ran a few exercises. Just double check he had the hang of it. I'm like, what? Just a few or two, because double is two, correct?
He
right?
may have done more, but I can't imagine more than a few. I think maybe twice.
Oh, he's got it. He's good.
And they made sure he knew where most of the primary controls were and called
how
it
to start
good.
it. Do you know how to start it?
You know how to
start it? The landing gear is?
All right, that's good.
Okay, do you know how to go up and down and side to side? Okay, I think you're good.
That's really cool. So, I mean, again, it's exactly like we said. The Army is thinking piece of cake, which...
Yeah, exactly.
What we didn't know in 1945, they really thought it would be a piece of cake.
I mean, yeah, I get it. But, I mean, it's just... I mean, you're right.
We could make an atomic bomb, so that's fun.
And look at us now.
Look at us now. God, this is gonna be the worst piece of shit that's ever been put out on
We
air.
love you, listeners. I hope you are enjoying
I'm
yourselves.
sorry. We're literally on death's door, and so this is what you get. So Smith has his co-pilot and a Navy machinist on board, and like Hotshot here requests to fly a direct instrument flight to Newark, which basically means he's flying blind with only the onboard instruments and ground control to guide him. Because again, the weather, and I cannot overstate this, it's going to be very important to our story, is a real bitch this day.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. The request was initially denied until Smith, or unless Smith would postpone the flight, which everyone, go with your first instinct. A lot of this shit that we talk about could have, as we know from the podcast in general, been avoided. But Smith, and he does have, to be fair, every reason to be confident as fuck. So
Whatever.
he's due in Newark by 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. it's going to be as far as he's concerned. It's like, Nazis didn't slow this guy down, so no wonder he doesn't give a flying fuck about fog.
I mean, he's like, here, bitch, I'm coming. I don't care. A little rain, a little fog. Oh, when I had to dodge Nazi bombers.
Right, I've been
in order to
putting
get through
freaking
my
Nazis
life.
down for like
Yeah. So
the
a little
last
fog.
2 years. So a
It's
little
a little
fog
fog.
can suck it, literally. So Smith sets his sights on LaGuardia Airfield instead, which for those like Bethany that don't know is about 15 miles northeast of Newark, as the weather conditions were a little better at LaGuardia.
I have never heard of Newark. I don't know where Newark is. Where the hell is Newark? I was like, I don't understand. Okay.
So then,
because you didn't say New Jersey. Okay.
Well, I just said assume that everybody in the United States.
Well, you better see. Okay, Jessica. Remember, not everybody is as smart as you. Okay. And I don't know my geography.
Well traveled.
Yeah, because I've never been to New York. I've never been to New Jersey. So excuse me. I've never even heard of Newark. Okay.
You've never heard of Newark, New Jersey?
No, bitch. I haven't. Okay.
All right.
So don't just assume, because it makes an ass out of you and me.
Well, I don't think I'm the one in the ass. That's being the ass in this situation for once. Look at a map, Bethany.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm such a dick tonight, guys. But it's what you're going to get. And I don't apologize for it.
Never.
So Smith plans to do the 5-mile flight hop from LaGuardia to Newark and break a few rules kind of that way, making it by 10 a.m. This guy almost seems like he's still in like war mission mode for the duration of the story. And again, who can blame this guy? He's been bombing the shit out of Dresden. I don't know that that's who did that, but he's been like Nazi fighting. He doesn't give a shit about a quick hot flight.
Dodging Nazi bombs, dodging bombs.
Oh. So Smith receives the clearance to fly contact to LaGuardia, which layman's terms mean he's also to fly below the cloud cover and keep visual contact with the ground. There you go. I'm explaining myself.
Yay!
Yay! He's flying by landmark, essentially.
Okay.
If visibility fell below 1,000 feet at any point, Smith was instructed to return immediately to the Bedford base. And so the B-25 takes off with the fuel tanks completely full to capacity in case they need to turn back.
Oh, okay. Well, this sounds like nothing for our podcast right now. Everything sounds good, He's got he seems to know how to fly a plane. It's got a full tank of gas. He's gonna fly so that he can see the land, no problem. He's seen everything. They're gonna be in contact. Everything seems to be like, all right, cool.
Without a doubt, this is the best any of our stories have ever
Like this, I feel
started
good.
off.
Like I'm feeling like super cool, like and chill. Now I know obviously
Oh.
it's not. I'm like, why am I like I'm like, dude, this feels great. Like
This
wait,
feels great.
wait, what podcast are we doing right now?
What podcast is this? It's certainly not ours. Don't worry, it's gonna turn to shit really quickly. Now,
Of course. Okay.
let's hop on over to the old Empire State Building, which at the time was the tallest building in the world.
That's in New York. I do know that. Okay. I know where the Empire State Building is.
Yes,
I've
it's
heard
going to
of
be
that.
in Midtown Manhattan. So, thank God it's Saturday, so the building is only populated by weekend staff. So there are only around 2,000 people inside.
Oh, well, that's still quite a few people in a building.
Yeah, but it could have been worse if it was like
could
a
have been worse.
Monday or a Wednesday or any business day of the week, I suppose we'll do in my description.
I mean, true, but still, that's still quite a bit of people. Too many people in there.
And one
That
of
could
our
possibly
survivors, I'm going to take a little side trip here. One of our survivors, Bethany, was there because why?
Why,
Bethany?
Jessica? Why, Jessica?
Why? Because she traded fucking shifts with someone.
Oh my god!
Don't trade shifts.
Jessica, no.
And I say that because, Bethany, this is a recurring theme in this show. People
I am
are
that
always.
person, though.
I know you are, and this is
Oh,
why
no.
you should not do it, because you're gonna get killed by a plane crash or a volcano or some shit. Think about David Johnson. What did he do? He changed shifts, and then Mount St. Helens ate him. Like, God, this is turning into shit. So, like,
Oh my
so
god, you made
much-
me snort. You made me snort.
This has gone full shit show so much faster than I thought I was going to. I thought I was just going to read through this shit and we were going to be done. Little did I know. So, like, that is, again, a recurring theme that we always come across. People are always having horrible things happen to them when they're trying to be nice and trade shit. Stop doing it. If you are listening, unless it is a fucking emergency of the highest order, cover your ass and don't do it.
Just do it.
Don't do it. My God. This time, opposite Nike that shit. And
Oh
don't,
my god, I'm like snorting on
do
this podcast.
don't do it. I am cussing so much. God, my mother is going to be horrified.
Hey, we did a disclaimer. She if she made it this far, she's in
She
it for
made
the
it this far. She's in it to win it, man. So, so sick. So meanwhile, back at the old LaGuardia Ranch, visibility is worsening. I am getting into a real cool, a lot of
Can you-
colloquialisms here. So everybody,
Can you redo that with your Texas panhandle accent, please? Can you read that sentence?
the worst part is it's not even originally a panhandle accent. It's originally an East
Whatever.
Texas one. Meanwhile, back at the LaGuardia Ranch, visibility is worsening.
Oh god.
Fuck yourself.
It's just amazing. I'm sorry. Continue, please. What was happening back at the LaGuardia Ranch?
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Oh, if I keep drinking, it's gonna start sounding like that because I am just equal parts NyQuil and like a martini right now. So, cloud and fog ceilings are descending. Visibility's for shit. Smith drops down to 650 feet and radios LaGuardia for clearance. So, in the air traffic controller tower, We've got Victor Barton, who, I mean, guy's absolute pro. He knows all about New York, New Jersey weather. Now, this guy used a trick. If he couldn't see the television tower on the Empire State Building, he advised against flying any further. Ironic. That day, he could not see the tower, and he desperately tries to convince Smith to land there at LaGuardia. But Smith insists on landing at Newark, going on to his original destination as was intended.
Okay, so this is, I can feel, is now, we were going okay, but this is now mistake number 1.
Yeah. Starting to go south.
Step 1 of beep, 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 error.
I mean,
do not proceed.
Yeah, it's not like hijacking the plane bad, but it sure as shit isn't good. Exactly that. So as he saw it, he was already flying below the 1,000-foot minimum that was already given as orders. You might as well keep going to Newark. So in the tower, Barton contacts the Army, and for whatever reason, the Army gives the go-ahead for Newark. LaGuardia says, all right, fine, asshole, but here's the deal. You have to fly below the clouds with a visibility of 1,500 feet. And if you lose sight of the Empire State Building, turn your ass around.
Okay.
Which, again, just irony slap. So Smith has in his head, though, that he knows better, and he's about to fuck up big time. Big time. So he reaches the outskirts of Manhattan, and Smith can see some landmarks. The problem is the almost complete lack of visibility has Smith completely disoriented. This is one of those times that you're gonna want to go ahead and like ask for directions. I know that it's a man trope thing, and especially in 1945, but if there was ever a time, brah, it's now.
It's now. What gets me is like he has been told by the Army that he should go ahead and keep going. Why would he call the Army? Why wouldn't he call the tower? I thought that's what he was supposed to say.
The tower has to double check since it's actually part of a military. It's a military flight. It's not just like under the control of the FAA solely. Does that make sense? It's military personnel that is going on. They're going to chauffeur somebody else to a different base. So what happens is LaGuardia Tower ends up initially phoning the Army and saying, look, this guy is bound and determined to go on to Newark. And again, it's kind of like one of those, it's Smith. Hell, he could fly the Wright brothers plane to the moon. Like, let him fly it, you know?
Yeah, because he's like, no, it's fine.
Exactly. So he's coming in Manhattan, and he's thinking he's seeing landmarks that he knows, but again, it's extremely bad weather. There's so much fog. He's very disoriented. So as Smith comes to the East River and 59th Street Bridge, he mistakes that for the Hudson and the George Washington Bridge, which is actually 2 or more miles north of where he essentially thought he was. So Smith drops his landing gear. He's wheels down. He's cruising below 500 feet and suddenly realizes that he's flying less than 500 feet wheels out over Midtown Manhattan.
Oh no.
Lost in the fog. That's where he comes out, and he's just in Midtown.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Smith kicks left, and before he does it, he's flying straight up Fifth Avenue.
Oh my god.
Right.
Could you
shit your pants, right? Like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Pedestrians, understandably, are startled as they see this B-25 is roaring overhead, like panic dodging all these Midtown offices. How terrifying as you're watching that, like
What would you do? Like,
I'd be interested to know how many vehicle crashes there were that day.
yeah, like just
Of people looking up and like
like,
rear-ending each other, going, "Oh Jesus, well, where's it gonna hit?" Because it's not. He's not getting out of there. Like that's just not happening. So people from the ground are watching this plane with landing gear down, swerving right and left, bobbing up and down, trying to climb out of this maze of bullshit that is Midtown Manhattan in 1945. So people in offices are looking out of the windows, like in the Radio City kind of district even, and they can see people's faces in the cockpit. That's how close they are to the buildings.
Hi. Have a nice day at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
Plus, oh God. So it's like 9:55 a.m. Smith is flying blind at 200 miles per hour. And don't quote me on this. I want to say the B-25 weighs about 12 tons. I could be wrong.
But still, it's a plane.
I'm not going to say where I work, but I semi-work with these things in restoration. I'm pretty sure it's a 12-ton plane. So he's
going 200 miles an hour.
And going 200 miles an hour. So he's trying to climb like a mother, but the landing gear is out, and that's dragging him back down. Just aerodynamic and the weight of the whole thing. He's not being able to climb very fast. So Smith is at 900 feet when, boom, out of the fog, the Empire State Building.
No! Oh my God. Like, Jessica, why didn't he just pull his landing gear back up and, like, climb and go up? What? Why?
Doesn't work that way. I mean, we could get into all the techno, but he couldn't just pull it back up. Not only that, but if you're trying, the logistics of trying to get it back up and it just doesn't go back, that's not how it works. We won't get into all of it, but you got to understand the weight and the lack of aerodynamic flow. That it just, God. Plus, he could have maybe climbed somewhere else, but he's also actively dodging every single building. The fact that he made it that far is pretty impressive. But then there's that giant limestone brick and steel girdered bitch, just out of the fog. Nothing for it. B-25 slams into the Empire State Building between the 78th and 79 floors.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of that's just slightly up there.
Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little. So Midtown, of course, just erupts in absolute panic. It's mayhem in the streets. It's glass, metal, all kinds of shit just falls everywhere. So there's a huge explosion, and it's so loud on the other floors. People start flocking to the windows, which maybe don't.
Oh my God, right? Like, I mean, let's see, what's that noise over there? Oh my God, Justin, could you imagine if that actually happened, like in today's time? People would like pull out their cell phones, be like, "Oh, look at that."
No, I mean there would 110% be some dumb dick that wanted to like live tweet it that would fall out of the Empire State Building out the window all on their own.
Oh my gosh, I can't come into work tomorrow.
God, I hate this world.
Oh God.
So some people were actually legitimately worried that it was a bomb because the war wasn't like, all the way over yet at this point in history.
Oh yeah, 1945. Oh yeah, okay.
We've got Europe. We're still fucking with the Pacific, but that's going to be sorted out pretty decisively quickly, and not too much time. Upon impact, the cockpit is flattened, so Smith and the other two people on board are just fucking dead.
They did. Oh,
They did. They did.
Sorry, we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off that one, y'all.
There's
did.
no friggin' doubt
mean,
about it. Like,
we're
you've
not gonna go
just
into more.
slammed
They just
into
at 200 miles an hour.
at 200 miles an hour, solid, like, limestone blocks backed by, I think it's like 8-foot thick brick underneath that, and like completely still. This place is built, the Empire State Building is built like a fortress. One man in a corner office tries to run as the explosion hurls him out of the window of his office. Don't let. God damn.
God. Oh my God.
To his death on one of the ledges of the building. Right?
Oh, so he didn't go all the way down there.
No, he didn't fall all the way. Don't worry. I've got pictures of it. We'll be releasing it on Instagram. I have no doubt about it. I'm just waiting for them to ban us and the number of bodies get posted. I guess it's fine to post dead people if it's historical. So
yeah.
Some interesting lines that you draw there, Instagram, but morality is not really a thing that comes with a company owned by Mark Zuckerberg. So it is what it is.
It is.
So the wings of the plane actually shear off, and hundreds of gallons of aviation fuel are just like fucking spilling willy-nilly, running in rivers down the north side of the building. Shit's getting crazy. So the right wing engine breaks off and flies all the way across the offices. 3 secretaries are instantly engulfed in fire so hot that it can melt glass. And then metal, of course, but melts glass.
My God. Oh my God. Just, can you imagine? Just instant, just poof.
It's super horrific. It's super horrific.
I might cry now. Like, this is crazy. Holy crap.
I'm in such a bad mood. I don't even have humanity tonight. I'm gonna lie. I'm just like, I don't care about it.
You're so cold-hearted, and I love you.
I'm really not. I really am not that cold-hearted.
She only had a heart.
Oh my goodness. You bitch. A wave of fire spreads overhead in the affected areas. An oxygen tank breaks free and flies into some cubicles where, there's a lot of fire, so naturally an oxygen tank explodes.
It blows up. Oh my God. See? Hey, I knew that.
Science.
I did know that.
So the landing gear and an oil tank, because again, this thing's going 200 miles an hour, punches through the opposite side of the Empire State Building and falls onto the roof of the neighboring Waldorf building. The B-25 left wing breaks loose and slices through cables holding up one of the elevators.
Oh,
has
fun.
A 20-year-old female elevator operator still in it. It drops, plummets 80-something stories to the basement, and the walls essentially collapse around her.
Oh, so she gets buried alive. Awesome, cool.
You think that. But there are some bright spots in this story. So
no way.
Firefighters are on the scene in a flash, as is a young passerby, a 17-year-old surgeon's assistant, Donald Maloney of the U.S. Coast Guard. He raids a nearby pharmacy, I believe it was a Walgreens, for supplies, like morphine and shit. And he's just like, dude, give me this shit. I got stuff to do. All right, I gotta go. I'm Captain fucking America, and I got lives to save. They just give it to him. They're like, yeah, go for it. So he goes in with the firefighters, where they find the elevator car buried in the concrete in the basement of the building. Donald, one of our heroes for the week.
Dun, 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 dun. We always have to have a hero of the week.
We got multiple ones.
It's Donald.
We got multiple ones.
Yay. This will make up for some of the ones we didn't have heroes.
Yeah, exactly. God damn. We're just maligning the shit out of an actual war hero. Has the firefighters lower him into this elevator, lifts all the shit off this elevator operator, finds her alive.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, she fell all
Shut
the
the fuck
time
up.
and realized she's falling so fast that at one point she would have literally lost weightlessness. This girl is still
Yeah.
alive. Where
Holy
he administers first aid, morphine, everything, and saves her fucking life.
Oh my god.
I feel like everybody in 1945 was just wandering around being Captain fucking America. I don't know about you.
I mean,
It's
that's
like, hold
or
on,
they were just
fighter
doing a bunch of
fighters,
coke.
hand me my shield. Well, no, they were doing a lot of that too. It was pretty much an all household
Sorry.
product.
I wasn't sure if you heard me. I don't know if I said it loud enough.
What a time, right? Would have
Oh, what
saved
a
me a lot
time.
of money, Colin. Coca-Cola was still, a good thing.
A good thing.
Or I guess we could have just not been born in the 80s, but could have lived through them. Same difference. So firefighters spread out up the stairs, oversee the evacuation, and they start putting out the fires. Now, on the floors where the blaze, it was just pandemonium still, where the plane had actually hit. So, out of the office, on the floor still on fire, a man named Joe Fountain, whose hair has been burned off. His face is absolutely charred, as well as most of his body, because on impact he was soaked in aviation fuel.
Oh my god.
He still runs through more fire and starts directing the people that work under him in the offices to safety. Fountain puts everyone in one office, closes the door, starts doing old school fire safety, like getting out pieces of rags, getting them wet, getting them over people's faces, opening windows. It's absolutely amazing. So firefighters reach them, douse the flames, and rescue all the people still alive in Fountain's offices.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that his name is Joe Fountain. Like he's a fountain of saving. I just think it's so inspiring. I love his name, Joe Fountain. Instead
Why
of Joe
would you
Dirt.
make me?
I just
Why
love
would you
that.
make me laugh when I'm about to give terrible news? Like,
Shut up.
I know you don't know
No.
this. Fountain
No,
later
this is the
slipped
hero that
into
dies.
Yeah, Fountain later slipped into a coma and died
Ugh.
3 days later from his injuries.
What the? He had to take 3 fucking days? I'm sorry.
Oh, he was burnt so badly, though, Bethany. I mean, think about that. You're
know,
covered
but-
head to toe in aviation fuel, and there's fire ripping through your office. Yeah, you've been burned badly. I know, it's terrible.
He
Which-
should have gone like the moment everybody was saved. He should have just died then. That's so.
I know, it's rough.
Oh.
But, like, what the fuck? What a tough son of
Oh,
a bitch,
yes.
though,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we aren't ready for Nazis in this country right now. We couldn't fight Nazis today.
No.
We couldn't.
no.
But people were so
Um,
insanely tough back then. Like, everybody was literally Captain America. How insane is that, though? This guy is literally dying, slipping into a coma, but he's going to be up and around saving his employees until everybody's out of the building. We are so fucked if anything ever happens because we can't do this. We're not these people
No.
anymore.
No. I hope I work for a boss like that someday. That would literally die for me.
I can literally say I have worked for one man that would, like, honest to God, do whatever it took for his employees. But just one. Now they'd be shoving you into the flames to run out over you know?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, can you imagine if that shit got set at a Wells Fargo? It'd be...
Every man for itself. or woman.
Meanwhile, they're
Sorry.
trying to open fraudulent
Meanwhile, that
accounts
guy-
on the way out. Like,
Open the safe. Get the safe.
get safe. No, whatever. They're just trying to meet their sales
Woohoo.
quotas and opening fraudulent credit cards as
Put
the
some stuff in
computer
there.
is going up in flames. Like, put some stuff in there. They can't prove it. Oh. This disaster ended up now. Drum roll, imaginary please don't actually do one because they'd have to edit that out. We've already made that difficult enough in this fucking episode.
Yeah.
So the disaster ended up claiming body count only 14 lives. And I don't mean to say only 14. I'm not saying that that's not every life lost is tragic to us. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this freaking show. But I mean, considering that a plane slammed into an office building, we're doing
So I'm
pretty
wondering. So clearly we've got you said the total's 14.
good. Mm-hmm.
And so then clearly two of them
3 of
are
them were crew
3.
members.
Oh, so there were 3
only
people on the plane.
11 pedestrians.
Oh, so nobody in the Empire State Building?
Yeah, no, the 11
Died?
people that did die, the 11 pedestrians were in, or I should say the 11 civilians were within the building themselves.
Okay.
And so most of those bodies, because again, this is a horrific plane crash, most of those bodies had to be ID'd by things like watches, engagement rings, etc. I mean, because again, aviation fuel, 200 miles per hour, the plane, explosion, yada, yada. But no, the 11 civilians, there were 3 crewmen, and then the 11 civilians were killed
inside the building.
Inside the building, yes. By some miracle, though, no pedestrians on the street and no firefighters were killed.
Oh, yay!
I know.
Yay! There's some yays and there's some boos.
There's some yays and some boos in this story. The Empire State Building also survived because the place, like I said, is built like a fucking fortress. It even opened for business that Monday.
What?
I mean, why
this
are we
happened
surprised?
on the Saturday, right? Oh, yeah.
Why are we surprised, though? In 45, at least they had the decency not to do business on a Sunday. Where fucking Wall Street got bombed and it opened the next day. Like, we are just not that tough. We are so fucked if Nazis ever come for us again, guys. Like, we gotta get tougher. I don't know. We gotta do something. Something.
We gotta figure something out.
Army opens an inquiry, as well as the FAA and the city of New York, into the events. They all draw the conclusion that Smith, the pilot, was unfamiliar with the area and the aircraft. But nobody wanted to, like, call out the war hero as 100% the reason this happened.
Which, sorry, but it
was.
It was.
This is why I say I feel really horrible because I'm in such a bad mood. And then when I got to the end of this, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm fixing to malign a World War II war
and
hero.
The fact that like he had a guy that specifically was the guy that told him not to, if you cannot see, turn around. Was he on the flight?
No, that was Barton in the tower at LaGuardia.
Oh.
He had his co-pilot and then the machinist on board. But yeah, no, that was the air traffic controller.
God. Oh. Yeah, let me just ignore an air traffic controller.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're doing.
They have no idea.
They seem like a total group of dumbasses that control how many flights in and out.
They're just a bunch of fucking...
all day long. They're not an intelligent
nerds.
group of people at all. They're
just a bunch of fucking nerds.
I can fly a plane. I know better.
I've been throwing this football around the park for a while now. That nerd don't know what he's talking about now.
Oh my God, we got to stop. No, I mean, he really wasn't worried. We got to stop maligning a World War II war hero. But no, it was 110% his fucking fault.
Yeah.
But this event also massively changed flight regulation across
Yay,
the
we learned
country and
something.
also in New York specifically. And that's I had no energy to try to teach anybody a goddamn lesson or pull it into current events this week. I just wanted to tell a cool story, and because I just like I got nothing this week. I feel
You
like
know what?
shit.
But
Our
Jessica, what's
really our
great?
one lesson is though human error brings about necessary changes usually in safety regulation. And I mean that really is our lesson. Like every horrible tragedy that happens, we do at least learn something from it, guys. And on occasion, it results in positive change that benefits everyone. And I would say that that's what happened with our story this
No.
week.
I mean that's the whole point. And sometimes in our stories, people, it takes a few times for them to figure it out, aka Johnstown. Like it took them a couple times to figure out, hey, we should do something about this. At least it took and it's unfortunate that it takes
Sometimes it
major
does take.
events and many people to die in order us to be like, hey, we should make some rules and we should
change
change
this. We
it.
should think this all the way through. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
all of human history. It's just a testament to we are some dumb sentient monkeys sometimes. We really are. And it just takes a massive amount of bullshit to bring it all back together.
Yes.
So, guys, again, this is going to be kind of a short one this week. We promise we are coming at you with a barn burner series, and it's going to be a long one on the LeBaron family and the Lambs of God cult, essentially. Now, they may have been fundamentalists, Latter-day Saints, but it was a cult within a religion, and it's going to be really, really interesting. However, it is literally killing me.
What's interesting is if you look back at our pattern history as we release podcasts, we do a deep dive and then we have some pretty good ones and we have some fun, and then as it leads up to presenting our next deep dive, we get goofier and either sicker or
It's because
we actually get to the deep dive, we're like, we're getting there.
That's because these deep
Hang with
dives
us.
kill me. They absolutely
know.
kill me. They do. But it's because this offense story, I didn't even have a source this week. It's just mostly from freaking memory, honestly. But those I try very, very hard to have at least 2 to 3 corroborating sources before I say anything within the stories, because that's where we do like our hard history work. It's going to be our deep dives. And we like to have fun, and do little short episodes like these. But we promise it is coming.
It's coming.
And it's a barn burner, let me tell you.
Literally.
That was the least of my freaking worries reading this shit. Like, I'm disturbed. I am not okay. Which, Bethany, as unprofessional as we have been, at least this week, we're going to have time for our counter culture.
Yeah.
I love that we both saying that same ridiculous sentence. So, what do we got this week? What do we want to talk about that makes us whatever?
Well, you just had your whatever makes us feel whatever.
Fucking something, I guess. What makes us feel something.
Something. Well, you did a collaboration with Despair and Distress.
Yes, I did.
That just came out, right?
And I'm going to tell you
what did you guys talk
guys.
about? What was your topic?
Well, our topic was horrific science experiments. So, and I'm going to tell y'all, I'm 3 sheets to the wind all the time for our podcast. But I remember everything that I say and everything that I talk about, I had a purity brownout for that one. Like, I remember highlights, but I was having way too
Oh,
much
shit.
fun.
I'm gonna have
I
to listen to it.
I think I talked about Dr. Mengele. I could have spoken about MK Ultra. I could have spoken about the Edgewood experiments. To be honest with you, I have no idea what the hell I said. And I don't listen to myself talk on podcasts, and I'm not usually a podcast collaboration type person, but I love the ladies over at Despair and Distress so
They're
much
amazeballs.
that I definitely was very excited to be on their show. However, I remember none of what I said on
I
their
remember
show.
nothing.
I remember nothing. So that tells me that it was particularly horrific. If my brain is very good at erasing things that I'm not going to want to remember. And so it absolutely did that in this case. So it could be a treat. It could be a shit show. I don't honestly know. But go listen to it.
I'm gonna go listen to it. So
There were some tweets today that gave me a kind of an idea about the performance I may have put on for that one, which
I know
scares
I've
me
already
even
seen
more.
them, and I'm like, I'm excited. I'm like, I can't wait. There are gonna be some good Jessica quotes in there.
I don't know about good, but there will be
Funny.
some Jessica quotes. Another thing that made me happy, we did the anniversary podcast collab also for
Pot askew.
where we
ruined their show.
ruined
Took
the
over their
fucking
show.
show. Don't
Sorry,
have
guys.
us on unless you want your show ruined.
At least it's a duo. Like having us on one without the other, I think is a good thing. But once you put us on together, we like team up and it's like full throttle. We're gonna throw it in your face and we're gonna see poor CJ was
No.
like, can I have control of my show, please?
No. No, you can't.
No,
Up in
sorry.
the body count. Like, no, you can't. No, just, well, we
Instead
don't
of-
do that
instead
many
of- instead of-
collabs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We only do it for friends. I hate that shit.
Oh my god.
So,
Jessica, instead of pod askew, it'd be bod askew.
oh my god.
Oh.
Modesty, which is pretty much what it is for a good portion. I'm
Sorry,
really
CJ.
hoping a lot
Sorry,
of it.
Rico.
I hope a lot of it gets edited out for everyone's
It
sake.
probably won't.
Well, no, because they do like 12.5 hour fucking podcasts.
I mean,
They have so
when
much
you have free
podcast
reign.
energy. We can barely pull it together once a week for an hour and a half. I mean, listen to this mess. They're so much more talented than we are.
Yes. And they have such like a free reign. Like they just are like, you know what? If we want to have a 3-hour podcast, we're gonna have a 3-hour podcast. And
Not
like,
only
hot
that,
damn.
But if we don't have an outline,
Oh my
is.
god. It would be a 3-hour podcast and
It
we
would
wouldn't
be,
get through the
because
episode.
I would start like
Tune in next week to find out what happens.
and we might end up at the subject matter that we're supposed to be in. If I don't have a jump off point and a finish up point, we are screwed.
Rude.
Oh, so what else?
Tune in 3 months from now when you finally find out what happened.
Tune in 3 months from now when we've gotten through the Indus River Valley civilization. Hopefully. With this
Maybe.
ridiculous pontificating bitch. But probably not. Before I forget, let me plug Care Rescue Texas. That's going to be their names on social media, carerescuetexas.com. It's a cause that's near and dear to my heart, guys. They do so much for animal rescue, but they also do a lot of work with big cats. Please go check them out on Instagram. They're absolutely awesome. What else? What the hell else do we like?
I think that's it. Alcohol and and
I say what you
money
call it, and alcohol and money
and I'm gonna get sleep and sleep.
and sleep. God, I do love sleep. And over-the-counter medicine, OTC
Or
medication,
prescribed medications.
or prescribed medications. Let me tell you, I've been popping Xanax like out of a Pez dispenser
Oh my
today.
God. With my new job, that is exactly, I take one, I'm like, all right, things happen, and I look at my employees and I go, you know what? I'm so glad that I am prescribed Xanax.
Right.
I love this job. Moving on.
Xanax is what keeps it. It's like the Xanax, find Xanax line that keeps me from being Ted Bundy, I swear to God. Or like, no, not Ted Bundy. More like Ted Kaczynski. Like, just, I've had enough. Gonna go
Okay.
live in the woods and bomb shit. I don't know. I'm out of my
Fuck
mind. Fuck it. I hate everything.
There you go.
Oh, God, this is a dumpster fire of a fucking episode.
Welcome to the shit show.
Welcome to the shit show. I promise I'm going to come back next week and attempt to be a colloquial historian, which is generally what I try to
Damn,
do.
what a word that you just used.
Colloquial?
Yes, girl. I
Oh,
don't even know what that
Bethany.
means, but I get it. Like,
Colloquial. Think homespun. A colloquialism is an idiom, if you will. Let me think. Like, not a snowball's chance in hell. That would be something that is a colloquialism, if you will.
I'm with you. I knew. I just love your explanation.
Color in the tit and a brass bra. A colloquialism.
Oh shit, my stomach. You're like making my side hurt.
God. I'm so embarrassed that we're gonna put this on air, but I just don't even care. I'm gonna brown
I'm
it
not
out.
embarrassed.
I'm gonna brown it
Brown
out.
it out. Oh my God.
I
Oh
just
my
hit.
God.
My brain is the compartmentalization machine. Oh,
Let's plug our social medias and then be done.
well, hell yeah, I guess we better do that. I guess I'll start with a show. First off, go check out our network at MSE Network on
Network.
Twitter. Go check
I think
out
it's wait. I think it's MSC
underscore
podcast.
network. No, it's MSE Network. It's the MSC Podcast Network, but the Twitter handle is at MSC Network.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we had it correct. Sorry.
Professional all the way. You can
Okay.
go
Just wanna make
check
sure.
out Michigan Sports and Entertainment.com. You can find our merchandise on there. You can also listen to episodes. Then you can also listen to our episodes on our own website at www.bodycounthistorypod.com. I don't know why I said the World Wide Web, Dill, in front of it. Like you have to type that in
No,
anymore.
worldwide.
How about
the
bodycounthistorypod.com on the internet? Gather around, children. Sit on your old auntie's knee. Learn about the
Listen to-
time before cell phones. You can follow the show at Body Count Pod on Twitter and Instagram. I think we're on Facebook. I don't know.
Yes.
I think it's the
It's
devil,
just
and
on
I
Facebook.
don't really screw with it.
the devil, Bobby.
It's the devil, Bobby. Bethany, where do people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Bethany Skelton 5, the number 5. And I don't know why I paused there.
Shit, I don't either.
And then you can find me at Bethany RN24 on Instagram. And I'm on Facebook too. And if you want to find it at school, you can find it by connecting to any of the other ones. So.
If you're 75 years old, you can find it on Facebook. But if not, you can find it on
Twitter.
Shit that people that aren't even as old as we are use.
Yeah.
I am Jessica B. Manor on Twitter and Instagram. Goddamn, I forgot the names of those two things for a minute. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it.
That's it. Go find us.
Go
like
find us.
We love you. See you next week.
Fuck off. Whatever you want.
And go to our Patreon.
Yes, please
go to our Patreon.
Patreon.com/body count. $1 a month. Listen to us make real asses of ourselves, even worse than this. Oh, God. All right, that's it.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. I'm RJ Metzger.
And I'm Rachel Metzger.
And we're the Skeptical Skeptics.
Each week, we talk about all the crazy things in the world, ranging from the paranormal to Bigfoot to UFOs.
And we look at it from the perspective of the believer, the skeptic, and everything in between.
So come check us out on the MSC Podcast Network.
Or go to skepticalskeptics.com and follow us at SkepSkepPod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.